Okay, so what I thought I'd do today is just take a diagram out of my book, which basically just takes you through a pathway of change. And we'll look at that from the point of view of how you can use the same steps to end up in a bad place, or how you can use the same steps to end up in a good place. And at the end, I have something for you to take away that you can do, which will improve things for you. So I'm actually going to use the whiteboard quickly, only once, and I'm going to write these things down. So when you think of yourselves, this is the outside world, right? This is the world we live in, the physical world we see. This is all the inside stuff that's all kind of spooky, and most of us have interpretations about. We don't really know what's going on, but we have ideas about it. So from the outside working in, you have things that we do, behaviour, or actions. And I'll get out in the way in a minute so you can actually see that. Then, as we get deeper, we have a motivation for that action. Deeper to that, okay, is an emotion. And I'll explain all this in a minute. Then we have beliefs. Then we have the way we think, our intelligence, or thoughts. Then we have a thing called intuition, which I won't go into today because that's like a huge topic. And then we have this thing here called truth, ultimately, or what we won't define that either today, it's pretty deep. But it's interesting that when you look at this progression, okay, there are things that we do every single day. All I want you to understand is this: every act you do was motivated somehow inside you. Does that make sense? There's a motivation behind it. Behind that motivation is an emotion. That emotion actually fuels the motivation that fuels the action. Behind that is a belief that creates that emotion that motivates you to do that action. Does that make sense, guys? Then there's the way that we think, the way we process information, our logic, our ability to think and put things together, that allows us to have beliefs, which are really just thoughts that we strongly have emotional, that we have a lot of energy, emotional energy about. That then leads down to actions. And ultimately, truth and intuition, as I say, they're pretty broad. But what I mean in this context, I mean the truth of the situation. Okay, and we often ignore that. The truth of the situation might be that if we do eat that pizza, it's going to add to, whether we love it or whether it makes us feel good, makes us feel bad, it's going to add something to our body that's not going to be good for us. We all know, intuition, think of that as, the stuff, that little voice inside of your head where you know already. You know how you go to the doctor and you say, well, this happened and that happened, and you have those moments inside you where you kind of know. You already know the answer. I would say that most people that I've ever seen in therapy already know the answer to their problem. It just takes a long time for them to go, yeah, all right, I was right. Do you know what I mean? We play those little games with ourselves. It's really quite fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So let's have a little look at that and let's see how that works when we're doing it the wrong way. If we're disconnected from that and we have things happen in life, let's say, for example, and these are just some examples of what might be happening in someone's life. It's funny, I was just thinking about my weight, and my friend rang me to tell me about her husband who was just gone into hospital with a heart attack. And the other day, a new gym opened around the corner, and they put a flyer in my mailbox for some free sessions. That's just something that's happened in life, right? Now, the way that, on the bad path, if you like, when you get to this point here, you'll say something like, well, my friend's husband must have been really unlucky. It's probably just too much work and stress that did it. He just needs something good, like one of my stews, a nice meal. When they get out of hospital, I'll cook something and take it over, that'll be nice. Oh, and this flyer about the gym, I'm not one of those people that are obsessed about their body. Unbelievable how vain some people are. So, and there begins that slight edge that we keep talking about on the path to okay, so but watch what happens, alright? Then you get over here, your thoughts, get into this stage over here, and this intuition is saying to you, really, well, maybe it's not just stress, there's lots of people that are stressed, but I mean, you have a heart attack, It's like, But you ignore it and you go, well, look, I'm not that bad. You know, I mean, my friend Jane now, she has a weight problem. I'm a little cuddly, but I'm not that big. Right? So that's where we go here. And we have and you can insert there, not your own, because as we established today, everyone in here is perfection. But you will know people. You will know people and insert things that they say into the appropriate spots as we go along. Okay? And then we get to the beliefs section, and I saw something like, exercise and diets are for self-obsessed, vain people with nothing better to do. That's a belief. And that belief holds that person in that frame. Does that make sense? Alright, so we go further down, and the emotion that's created when they really start to look at it is, what? I hate exercising, it hurts. What will my friends think? They will think that I'm trying to be better than them. I mean, what about Friday afternoon club after work when we get together at the Italian gelato place? You know, for ice cream. I can't break that up, can I? That would be horrible. So the emotion here is fear of social exclusion. That's what's happening underneath. So as you can see, that slippery slope, and here we go. Then there's the motivation. And that comes out like this, because it's like an anti-motivation, right? I can't believe I obsessed about this so much. There's nothing wrong with me. If people can't love me with my curves, then they don't really love me at all. I'm making a statement. I'm staying as I am, and I'm not going anywhere. So there's the motivation. I'm digging my heels in. Okay? Now what does that do to somebody who's actually down that slippery slope, and deep down they know that they've lost control? It makes them feel empowered in a false way. Because you think you've made a decision. I'm just not one of those people, wear it. That's it. Right? But the reality is, it's not about you being that kind of people, or any other kind of people. It's about what the truth is. Right? And so, of course, when we get to this point here, the exercise doesn't happen, the right diet doesn't happen, and we progressively gather every day, a little by little, the slight edge in a negative way, and it leads to, you know, the detriments that we've talked about. Now let's look at that in a different way.